Remember, democracy, peace, and freedom. This is what the United States represents. This is what it's all about. And that's what the American Revolution was all about. Bringing democracy to America. The land that they stole. And not for the people they enslaved. Or the people that were there before them. But you get my point. Because that's it. That's what America's all about. And that was the great selling point during the Revolution, was rejecting the King of England and his, well, let's face it, they really just didn't want to pay taxes to the king. But that whole freedom came back when the Soviet Union appeared. Because that became the whole thing. America is the leader of freedom and democracy, and that's what it's all about. It's about giving you choice in a two-party system where you don't actually get to, really choose anything. And haven't they always been the ones who have shot their mouths off the most, talking about how they are the only real democracy, the leader of the free world, as if other countries who also have democracy somehow just don't count? I hate to break it to a lot of people, but they're not exactly the bastion of freedom and democracy. Canada has democracy. Australia has democracy. The UK, Japan, Germany. There's all kinds of countries around the world that have democracy. But which one of all of these countries is the one that has spent the most money undermining democracy when claiming to be the ones who support it the most? Wasn't it when Taiwan was forcefully separated from China? Who propped up the Chiang Kai-shek literal fascist dictatorship? That was the United States. And when South Korea was forcibly removed from North Korea, who was in charge of the fascist South? Literally, yes, fascist South. It was the United States. Every time a country across Latin America has tried to have their own government, a government that they chose to carry out their interests, who was always there to overthrow it? It was always the United States. I couldn't list to you in a video how many times a country in South America has had their government overthrown. We could start with Guatemala in 1954, the event that radicalized Che Guevara to be the man that we remember. And that went on to create a democracy in Cuba, whereas what was there before? Dictator after dictator backed by the United States. Look at them now. Most Americans don't even believe that they even really have a democracy anymore. They're either touting some kind of conspiracy by super elite weirdos who stole the election from Trump, and you've got the other ones screaming Russia coming in and invading their democracy and undermining it, etc. And all the nonsense that goes along with that. Everybody pointing fingers at everybody else while ignoring the elephant in the room, and that is the lack of democracy that exists in the country because of capitalism. Nobody believes that the average person every day who votes has any say in the system. The wealthy elite do. They choose who gets being even put on the ballot. And theoretically, you could put your own name on the ballot. Good luck on anybody even knowing that you exist. on what basis can we stand here and claim that the United States stands for freedom and democracy when they rob so many others of it? It's complete nonsense. It's a complete and absolute lie. It's nothing more than complete... It's mind-blowing, the amount of hypocrisy. How many times... Do you remember when Jen Psaki said it was a policy of the United States not to overthrow other people's governments and not interfere in their elections? And the entire press corps basically laughed at her. And the one guy asked him, well, how long has that been a policy? Because it certainly hasn't been a policy for the last couple of decades. People want freedom. They want democracy. You can find CIA documents that show how much democracy was really in the workplaces of the Soviet Union. But you got a lot of people that would just ignore that. So, I mean, what really is a democracy? Is it when the rich tell you who you're allowed to vote for? Because it reminds me of what Lenin said about democracy. Or, pardon me, what he said about freedom under a bourgeois society. Freedom for whom? To do what? Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.